What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 49 episode 49 of the Underground Pub Show here on the 50K Multiverse Network.
Every week.
I know, every week I manage to screw the intro up. I used to be so spot on about it, too, and then something...
No, that never happened either.
It happened one time in the first season, around episode 6 or 7. I nailed that shit. It was pretty awesome. But now I just can't seem to get it right. But yep, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. We got a pretty good show for y'all this evening. Again, another really weird week in the NFL and college football. So we're obviously going to get to that. Baseball playoffs are going on. We'll let CJ get into that.
Oh, you're going for the double-double.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. I mean, I felt like once was enough. So yeah, we'll get into all this shit soon. Guys, how y'all doing this evening?
Good.
Pretty good.
Yep. Good.
CJ, you checking your fantasy sources over there?
Nah, I'm trying to get this loaded up. It wasn't sharing, so I wanted to
Yeah,
share the video.
I was doing a really good job of that, and then,
You doubled up.
then I doubled up.
It happens, man.
Yeah, it does.
We're all good.
It happens to the best of us. But how was your week last week?
Last week was fine.
Fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I didn't
was fine.
didn't get killed or shot or anything like that.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Made it to and from work safely. It's always a bonus.
I can respect that. Hell yeah.
So can I.
I can respect that. Fuck yeah.
Glad you're okay. Those like burrito things you made look pretty good.
Those things were amazing. But I will say this. The recipe didn't tell me to saute the onions first.
So were they?
They're raw, and it just kind of like baked in the thing. And they're red onions. It was extreme. They were good though, but the onion was fucking onion.
Yeah.
So next time I make them, I'm gonna saute the onion first.
I actually cooked yesterday too, but it wasn't nearly as chef like, I guess. I literally just like found a new hamburger helper or whatever and made that shit. They had they have a Philly cheese one now. It actually wasn't that bad.
Was there really a need to bring that up?
Yeah,
But most of you are talking about cooking some from scratch shit, and you talking about I pulled a box out of the cupboard last night.
Yeah, it cost me $1. It was really good. Philly cheese hamburger helper. It's not bad. It's a good dollar well spent, guys. Go check that out.
Hamburger helper is pretty good, man.
I mean, hey, if you got a thing of ground beef and $1 to spare,
Yeah.
them shits are delicious, man.
Speaking of onion, man, last time I went to number one Chinese right there off of Olive and 9th.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Like
one.
last time I got it was like all onion. There's so many onion, I couldn't take it. And that's like when you're talking about with your burrito.
Onions,
I had to have them sauteed.
Yeah, just 1,000 raw onions is just too much. It's too heavy.
I'm not a big cabbage guy, and like the chow mein they have over at Panda Express, I love that place, and I love their chow mein. But like, if you get a batch that's got way too much cabbage in it, it just ruins the fucking chow mein. It is kind of depressing. It's really quite the bummer. But yeah, so that's enough about cooking and
Cabbage and onion.
and cabbages and onions and shit like that. We got sports to talk about, and a lot of shit happened over the last week. I kind of thought football was really going to dominate our episode today, like it generally has for the last couple weeks now. But the people have spoken on our Underground Pub Show group that we have on Facebook now, and they want Bobo to give everybody some answers. So what the hell happened? The United States soccer team did not qualify for the World Cup. It was the first time since 1986, from what I understand.
Do you want the long answer?
Yes.
Do you want everything that I possibly can think of?
Yes.
Give us your best, Bobo.
This might be a minute, and feel free to join in, and feel free to call in if you have any questions or corrections.
Before Bobo goes,
Yeah, 907-7686 on the hotline.
Right, I just want to make one point, and I'm not a huge soccer fan. I don't know a lot about it, but
That's part of the problem. But go ahead.
But I've heard some rumors.
you'll see.
And during not this last game that they lost, but the game before that, where they were playing, who were they playing? Where they scored the 2 goals almost like immediately at the beginning. Whoever the last game was.
Was it Panama?
Anyway, so Fox Sports or whatever, right? They got the contract to broadcast this, and they stood to lose a shit ton, like millions of dollars, if they didn't make it into the cup. So there was rumors that some people were paid to drop that game, and that's why they won so easily. And that team looked like they were, I'm just saying these are rumors that are abound, and I've heard them.
Well, the thing is, though, honestly, these are all teams that are so lowly ranked that there shouldn't be any losses at all. And paying or not, they just shouldn't be able to win. They shouldn't even have to throw the games. They shouldn't be able to win the game. Yeah. We lost to a number 99th ranked team from a country that is about the size of Rhode Island. Basically, they have the population of Pensacola, and they found 11 starters and 20 people out of the population of Pensacola to beat 350 million population of people in the United States. To pick 20 from that group of people, couldn't beat 20 people from this little island, couldn't beat a country, United States, in fucking soccer.
Yeah.
That in itself is ridiculous, and I will tell you why.
All right, let's hear it.
First thing is, it starts with like soccer in itself in the United States. It isn't like really open. Like you don't see children just like kicking and playing soccer. When was the last time? Have you ever seen a 5 or 6 kids just playing soccer in like a front yard or in a park or somewhere without any no parents,
not recently,
no referees, nothing like that. Just a couple of kids with some t-shirts on the ground as a goalpost and just playing a game of soccer or anything like that. Even just a kid kicking the soccer ball down the street and actually dribbling it, not because someone just rolled a ball towards him. He's actually playing with it by himself or kicking up against the wall. Have you ever seen anything like that recently?
Not recently. When I was growing up as a kid, like soccer was actually really popular in the Gulf region.
Well, the
area,
World Cup might have happened or something like that recently.
But I remember I used to see it every now and again when I was growing up. I mean, we're talking 15, 20 years ago. But
you don't just randomly see pickup soccer games like you do football.
But no,
everywhere else in the world you do.
Yeah,
right here,
absolutely.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I don't see kids outside.
Here's the thing. Well, I see kids playing basketball all the time.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood, there's like a couple of basketball rims on the side of the road, and there's like a park.
You have a really nice park over there, or nice-ish.
And here's the thing, like,
nice.
You don't see like, kids playing soccer. I think like the average kid that becomes like decent or okay between now and between like 6 years old in high school, I think it's almost like $4 or $5 grand for that kid to be able to play. Because it's always like club teams and travel teams, then you get to high school. So if you're paying like what, $3 or $4 grand, the average just regular kid is not going to drop $4 grand just to play fucking soccer. He's like, why am I? So there's no just casual soccer kid culture around, and I think that is a huge problem. They have all these academies. You have no idea the academies and institutions they have for soccer in the United States. Yeah. They're like. One of them was made by Adidas. I can't remember the name of it right now, but Altador and Bradley and all the guys that are playing right now, it was an academy put together in like the 90s that these kids didn't even go to high school. They went straight to the soccer academy, and they've been playing there. They went to school and played there at this academy, which cost I don't know how much money to play there. And then when they came out, we were supposed to win the World Cup in like, I think it was, what was the one before South Africa? Can't remember off the top of my head, but that class was built and designed to produce a World Cup team. I can't remember exactly what it's called right now. It was produced by, I think it was Adidas. They had like a name for it. And we did shit. We barely got to the second round that year.
Yeah. If I can just real quick, like, because you're saying how like we don't have a lot of kids playing soccer and stuff like that.
No, we do, but it's like pay to play.
Yeah,
all these kids that literally don't even probably want it. They're being bussed by their parents to go to soccer fields. And play, and then they take them home.
No, I mean I totally agree with you, but like what I think is kind of weird though is like I don't know if this is different in other countries, but like our men's soccer team has always been. I know we had that one year, I guess it was the last World Cup, where like it looked like there was hope of them doing well. We had the hashtag I believe we can win going on. But with our women, it's not really an issue. Like they seem to always do really well. Like, what is the difference there?
It's by the way, it's GIA or Generation Adidas International. They've produced. They have 116 players in the pros. Over let's see, what is this? They've been represented on 680 teams for They sponsor up to 680 travel teams across the nation. They played 2,056 matches and 3,400 training sessions over 59 separate academies across the United States.
That's one of many of these things going on out there. There's no like regular kids just playing. Like right now, it's like they're trying to mass produce these kids, and it's not working.
13,606 total players trained from the academy.
And there's no like the regular kid out there playing it just doesn't exist anymore. Or they never existed. Never even had a chance. And I think another thing is women's soccer and professional level is relatively new.
Yeah.
And we kind of started with everyone else evenly on that one. Whereas playing world-class men's soccer, football,
Yeah.
we start off behind, which is why they're trying to do these academy programs and stuff to try and like catch up. But it's not. There's so many problems going on with that, going on with our whole soccer organization. The fact that we keep bringing this freaking coach back in that sucks. Klinsmann got fired after 2 bad games. They fired him after, getting pretty decent. I mean, the World Cup was kind of shitty in Brazil. I mean, basically, it was just how many goals could we not get scored on our goalkeeper Howard? It's how many saves can Howard possibly do before he gets a goal, which is like 30, which is ridiculous. No man should have to make 30 saves a game, but even still, it was still better than what we have seen. There's actually hope to get to the second round, which it's still just the fact that we can't get to the second round in FIFA alone is just fucking pathetic. But so you pull that aside, and then they bring this guy back, and he just shits the bed all over. Is this? I don't understand how you don't make the World Cup. This is so. The thing is, though, there's no embarrassment. All these players and the teams that go back to the LA Galaxy and the Seattle Sonic Sounders, what the fuck they're called, no one's going to laugh at them, point at them. No one's going to make fun of them. No one's talking shit. None of the local radio shows are going to call them out. No one cares. There's no embarrassment. If you fucked up this bad in England, your face would be on the side of every bus, every newspaper, every news show. They'd be constantly making fun of you. Your kids would not be able to go to school for a week because they'd be this nonstop harassment from other children, like just yelling at them and calling your dad a failure. It would not happen. You couldn't do that over here. Here, no one will talk about next. Actually, they're already done. ESPN probably won't even mention this ever again for like another 4 years because we're not. This is like 4 years now before we're even going to have the World Cup. We're done.
Yeah.
You could probably have those guys walk into the same room I'm in, and I wouldn't be able to tell that they're soccer
And
players.
there's no accountability. No one.
They've got the Summer Olympics coming up in 2 years, right?
We haven't made the last 2 of those.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about
We
that.
suck. It's horrible.
It's true, man.
And that means right now in the generation of children from the ages of like 14, 15, 16, no, let's say 13, 14, 15, 16, they're not going to see a professional men's. If they even had an inkling of being like playing soccer or seen like the one new guy we had that starts with a P that's like 19 right now.
Like Christian
Pulisic. Yeah, no one's. There are these generation of kids growing up right now. These middle school, high schoolers. They're not going to see this dude play professionally until they're probably like almost a senior in high school or graduated.
Yeah,
it's a whole generation of youth soccer players that are going to miss out on getting hyped. There has to be some good players out there somewhere. We have like 350 million people. We can't put together 20 people that could play soccer and get to the second round.
And make it look respectable.
It doesn't even make any sense. It's like mathematically impossible that Trinidad and Tobago, it's 2 countries named after bagels, and it's just dumb that these 2 countries could come together with no population at all, smaller than the size of 2 Rhode Islands. Got together and beat us 2-1.
It's
all we needed was a tie. A tie.
Couldn't even get that.
That's it. They need a win. Just need a tie. That's all they needed. They couldn't pull that up.
It's funny you mentioned about like you said, if this happened to Great Britain, like the scrutiny they would get and stuff like that. A couple years ago on ESPN, have you ever seen those ESPN 30 for 30 things that they do?
I've seen a few of them.
They did this one time where they documented the Russian hockey team or the Soviet hockey team that lost to the Americans in the 1980s games way back when. They talked about the shit that they got
when they went home.
When they got home, and it was bad. Like I mean, a lot of those players actually went on to be megastars in the NHL once the Soviet came down. They couldn't go over there until that was all taken care of. But it was bad news. I mean, it was bad enough to where the guy in charge of the country specifically wanted to meet with that head coach the minute that they got back. Said he wanted that guy at his place like the day after he got back because it was that embarrassing because they considered that team was considered to be unbeatable, you know. And then they got beat by a bunch of college kids, you know. I mean, if you actually look back at USA's hockey team that year, like very few of them played in the NHL, and just about every one of them were garbage. But like. So, I mean, I get that. Like, you know, if Great Britain or, God forbid, some country in South Africa or whatever didn't make the world, or like a major country, I should say, like didn't make the World Cup, like, it's bad news, you know?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I don't expect it to get that hype over here, but at least in their own communities, in their own towns, to the team, they should get some scrutiny or something. Like, people can't even don't know even half the team, and it doesn't even matter
Yeah.
because it's I don't know. I
It's-
think they should be
they don't
more,
know
it's
who
like
they
it's
are.
like
no
if you,
accountability. We play like ass. It doesn't fucking matter. No one really cares.
it's like in a crazy world where like if you were playing for this really high profile college football team like LSU and you lose to a team like Troy State, like could you imagine if that? Wait a minute, it did happen.
and it didn't. It did
And
not go
I heard
down.
it was
Yeah,
I heard it was bad news. Shit, when Florida State lost to Oregon years ago in the playoffs, like fans were so upset with them at that I think didn't they vandalize their
Yeah,
cars or some
I mean,
shit
I'm
like.
not
Well,
for
Florida State
that,
fans
but-
get mad after every
But I
game.
think you should at least have some accountability or feel some sort of like blowback from it. Like
Yeah.
I said, all the sports outlets won't even mention this ever again, except for that one soccer channel you might get on.
It was
satellite radio. That's about it.
It was being talked about a little bit on some of the on some of the channels I was watching this morning when I was getting up. But I mean,
I
like,
did-
keyword there though, a little bit.
I did hear that someone did say that there's more people talking about soccer now that it's become an embarrassment than it was whenever we were doing really well.
And that-
which
that sucks
maybe
that
that
it
will
comes
help.
down to that, you
maybe
know?
that will help because there's no accountability. That's what really upsets me. That this will just be like a whatever. Like, oh well, 4 more years, we'll be back.
James Barry on the live chat, he says it will be a Lifetime movie.
Yeah, basically Trinidad and fucking Tobago though. And that's-
I couldn't name like two players on the team though, and I know a lot of other Americans are the same way. So that's
Well-
why they're not going to get any blowback because
And
no
they're-
one knows who they are.
I mean, I'll admit it. I enjoyed watching. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, listen.
I'll admit it. I enjoyed watching the women over the years more
well,
more
you
than
know
I did.
why? Because they win.
Yeah,
And
they're-
Americans like to see winning and
Well,
stars.
it was-
There were
it-
stars in the women's
It wasn't
team.
even so much the fact that they were winning or whatever. The soccer was actually better with the women's.
They
Like,
have stars, too. You can-
They do have stars, and I even read
They
Hope
hype
Solo's
people-
book.
Yeah, they
Like,
hype people up. There's
was-
stars out there.
It was Hope Solo's book where I discovered that there was an actual professional women's soccer league out there. She played for a team in Washington.
Yeah.
And after she went to school in North Carolina, it's actually not a bad book. It was kind of interesting, but it was really funny. I bought that with the day I bought that the same day or at the same time as buying Zakk Wylde, the guitar player for Ozzy Osbourne's book. So I got a nice little funny look from the guy when I was buying it, but no, like but I mean that was kind of my thing. I mean, yeah. Obviously, it's fun to watch teams win, but I always like whenever I would watch men's soccer. One of the first dates me and my girlfriend went on back in the day was watching the men play in the playoffs of the World Cup way back when. And I remember trying to get into it or whatever, but like you could tell they were vastly played by the other team.
Yeah.
Where when you watch the women's soccer team, like yeah, I mean there are stars on that team, and I'm not just talking about Hope Solo. There's several others on there, but. Like you could tell like they deserve to be out there with the teams they were playing. Like USA versus Brazil in the women's soccer
yeah.
and soccer is an awesome game.
Well-
Brazil versus USA in men's soccer is a fucking beatdown.
It's
you
a
know? Like,
shootout.
Yeah,
literally, it's how many goals can our
it's-
goalkeepers save?
yeah, it's
or stop.
it's Alabama or like LSU playing like West Florida High School. You
Not
know?
LSU.
Like,
That's
LSU
right,
would probably lose.
yeah. So yeah, bad example there.
But yeah, it's
Unless it was Florida.
yeah, we'll get to that later.
Well, they bust out the actual Gator uniforms this weekend after that loss.
Let's wrap up soccer here first though. So yeah, I mean it's let's see James Barry again. Credit to them though. It's why we love sports. Those guys came to play. That was their World Cup, beating America. Yeah, I mean fair enough.
Are we even sure that are they out of it? The Trinidad and Tobago, are they out? Hell, they might have fucking got an invite for that shit.
I'm not
Probably
sure.
are. I think they are ranked 99th at the time. Which
Yeah,
again,
I'm pretty sure
99th,
they're donezo.
99th.
Yeah.
Could even
No
tie
Dunzo
them.
on that one, kid.
Hey Bobo, did you see that Orlando Pride Alex Morgan star, the soccer player that got in trouble over in Disney World?
You know what? I saw it on my news feed when I was looking up, like, and gathering my info for the soccer thing, but I didn't read it.
Yeah, I guess he got in trouble for trespassing and public intoxication and all sorts of good stuff there. And then at the end, she basically said something like, "Man, I can only imagine how black people have it because I'm white and I'm getting this much trouble." So
She really said
Who
that.
said it?
Alex Morgan,
Yeah.
yeah. So because she was drinking around the world.
Oh,
at
I know
Epcot.
Alex Morgan. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so-
didn't see the thing though.
I didn't know if you saw that or not. I
I didn't
briefly
see that,
saw
but I
it.
know she. Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. So
All right, we're
that was
uh,
my soccer adding.
yeah. Well, thanks, CJ. Glad you did your part, buddy. All right, let's.
I like soccer, man. I
yeah.
used to go to Chris's house all the time during the World Cup.
Can't do that. Well, you can, but there's
There'll
no,
be
I mean,
no,
like,
there'll be
not-
no
I mean,
Americans playing.
by the
well,
way,
it
I'm
doesn't
going for
really matter.
England this year. By the
Well,
way,
I mean, I think we all kind of figured that much.
yeah,
Like,
I've
I
already
mean,
announced that on Facebook.
No, my Chris, like all day long, he'd have the big screen with soccer on, like from morning to night, dude.
And
Watch
watch Russian
every.
games are gonna be cool. So it's gonna be like
Yeah.
an overnight affair. So people were gonna do like overnighters and stuff, but it's not gonna happen
yeah,
anymore.
not anymore. Oh well.
It's so fucking weird.
Yep.
Seven World Cups in a row. That's once every 4 years.
The last time that the men didn't qualify for the World Cup, Top Gun was the top movie out at that time,
And Ronald Reagan was the president.
and Ronald Reagan was president. Yep, I
Yeah,
didn't
and
see
something
that.
I
about
thought
Oprah.
Trump is gonna make everything.
I
great
did have a
again.
picture for the World
thought
Cup
we were
going on,
gonna
but I
be a
guess
country
Kenny's
of winners.
slacking on that one.
How is this making anything great again when our soccer team can't make it?
So it's Trump's fault. The soccer team
Well,
sucks.
they didn't win. He told us we were going to be winning.
It's a
He
direct
said-
correlation.
He said winning. Did he not say winning? Wasn't that part of his campaign speech? There's going to be a lot of winning.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of winning.
Well,
What happened to that?
I
There's
don't
no
know.
winning. This is losing. We lost. We couldn't even lose. We couldn't even
I'm kind of
compete.
surprised he's never
Yeah.
We
called
couldn't
this
compete
show.
to lose.
Yeah, yeah, we didn't lose, we didn't qualify. Like, I mean,
There will be a lot of winning. No, there won't be a lot of winning.
yeah, we won one game. We beat Panama.
That's not a lot of
Yeah, that's the
And
one.
then we lost to
Yeah, 'cause you
Honduras.
know
We
what?
lost to
If
Honduras.
We will have
No,
lost
we
to
tied-
Panama. This would have been done. We should have.
We tied Honduras,
Yeah.
and then Tobago beat us.
And then Tobago. Trinidad.
Trinidad and
Trinidad.
Tobago.
a game they should
Dude,
have won.
the
but
Seinfeld guy, the guy that ran in the Seinfeld show. We beat them. What was his name? The guy that they gave him the hot coffee or whatever?
Yeah. Like, because what he did, he
He
overslept.
overslept. Yeah.
And then he was supposed to stay
What
with
was his name?
I forget.
It's
man.
probably a premier soccer player name because that's what they have over there. Oh no, it's Jean-Paul.
Yeah, jump off.
I don't remember that shit.
It wasn't like 'cause Jerry was like, "What was it? Was the snooze?" He's like, "It's the
Yeah.
snooze."
Yeah, dude woke up late and they tried to throw coffee in his face instead of water or something like that.
Yeah.
My God.
It was Kramer had the cup of coffee.
Yes. Jean-Paul. Remember my friend from Trinidad and Tobago? All right.
yeah, it's a bummer.
It is.
Soccer
And
fans,
James Barry, the
no-
Gator uniforms, in my opinion, are terrible.
Yeah,
Not
that's-
everybody agrees with me.
Let's move on to college football real fast. There's actually a lot to talk about with college football, and we're gonna start with the Gators and those uniforms. Now, like CJ was saying, we're getting mixed opinions about it. Like, here's the reason why I can't help but to feel kind of wigged out by them. Because of, let's just say, a class I had to take many years ago. I was informed of this new street drug that's out there called Croc, that if you take it long enough, it makes your skin deteriorate and shrivel up and makes you look like an alligator. And I can't help but think about that every time I see these uniforms. And it makes me wonder, is this what's really happening? Like,
I don't get the hate. I don't think they look that bad.
it's just very loud. Let's put it that way. They're very loud
I
fucking
like
uniforms.
the gray. I do
I like the
I love
helmet.
gray actually, especially that. I want my car to be that color.
Yeah, the helmet I
love
like.
that
I
color
think
gray.
the helmet's the dopest part of it.
The helmet's good. If they wanted
like
to
the
do like a black and orange and blue uniform, but I don't.
I mean, I understand. I get the tiger. I mean, the crocodile skin, gator skin, all that stuff. I get that. You know, whatever. It's fine. It kind of makes sense to me. I don't know. I thought it was good. I did hate it at first. At first, I was like, "This is dumb. Why do they keep doing dumb shit to uniforms? What's the point?" But the more I looked, I was like, "It's not horrible." I mean, some teams couldn't really do that with their color scheme, and I don't know if the Gators really should be able to, but they kind of can. It looks like a hunting uniform.
I mean, there's a little bit of a honeycomb kind of scenario going on in there a little bit, I guess.
I
Like,
don't really know what I'm
And I did say
looking at.
crocodiles instead of alligators earlier,
Yeah, see,
but I
see,
tried
that's-
to
that
I
was
slowly
the-
played it off.
that was the first thing that I thought was, crocodiles. Like, I mean, I don't know. Fair enough, I guess. It's certainly not the worst college football outfit I've ever
No,
seen
I
in
mean,
my life.
I've seen 5 Oregon outfits in the same game that looked horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that one.
I usually like Oregon stuff.
And the Maryland ones that CJ mentioned before the show, like those, good God
That was Kenny,
almighty.
but-
You know
give
what?
him
I
pro-
actually liked that really obnoxious Maryland
They're
one.
like-
they
it was
had.
like the
I kind of
flag.
liked it.
It was
I
like
don't
the
know
flag
why.
was basically their uniform.
I
You
wouldn't want
liked
my
it
team
because
to
it was
win.
very limey looking.
It was
No,
something,
it
dude.
was.
It was
It was
pretty
extreme.
limey. It was pretty limey.
It was something you would see in a soccer polo or something like that for sure.
It was extreme. I liked it though. I thought it went well with other things that was happening with the jerseys.
The helmet with something else would be cool. Like I said, like a
What do you mean
like a-
without the gator head on it?
with no, like with like the helmet as it is, but removing all the shit that's underneath it, and having like a black jersey with like maybe orange
But-
on the trim.
I thought that too. That a black jersey might look kind of cool in that. Or
Yeah,
maybe-
with
or
like
maybe,
with like the blue pants with like a black jersey.
like a little bit of a color reversal on
Is-
those on the jersey. Like if it was black, like the design on there, if that was gray and then the rest of the jersey was black.
As dope
Yeah,
as
it
the
might not be
helmet,
bad looking.
as dope as the helmet is, and I do think it looks dope. It still, to me, doesn't really look like a game time helmet. It looks like a commemorative helmet that should be like in a man cave or some shit.
Or
somewhere.
like maybe something a SWAT team might wear before they're about to like go bust a crack dealer or
So
something.
is it like a matte colored helmet? Is it? It's not. Is it? I can't really tell. What's,
I mean, it's
It's
got
gunmetal,
it's like a
right?
semi gloss. I think it is sort of a matte black.
okay.
Was there a reason why? Like, why does Florida have to do this? Why
No, I
can't
think
they?
everyone. They're not gonna. They'll probably never wear that. They never
They're,
wear those uniforms.
they're wearing it
But,
for the
yeah.
game this Saturday, right?
Oh,
But-
I didn't even know it was official.
yeah, like I mean,
yeah,
for-
it's official. They're
yeah,
wearing them.
yeah. This is what they're wearing this Saturday.
Maybe
Just
they'll
to
look better
piss you off.
in action, like during the game itself. They'll look
Well,
better.
I don't
Like,
give a fuck what it looks like as long as they win, dude.
I don't
Jesus.
think
Which-
it's that big
yeah,
of a deal.
yeah, which,
I was
uh,
about to
yeah,
say. I think there's
yeah,
way more things to be concerned about as a Florida fan than what their fucking uniforms look like.
Exactly,
Believe me,
and that's
this
the-
offensive coaching staff I keep getting told about. I'm wondering where they're at and what day they're going to show up to the games to start coaching. That's
yeah.
all
I
I'm
mean,
looking
moving on from these uniforms, yeah, like
for. Good lord.
it was a crazy weekend in college football, and I mean, I guess let's start with this Gator game. They played LSU, and
Wait, James Barry. He said, well, the poor kids in other countries will be wearing these jerseys next year because nobody else wants them.
that's fucked. Or you'll be able to find them at like what's the place that sells like NFL jerseys from players that don't play there anymore? Not Joanne's.
Joanne's. You're talking about Burlington?
Yeah, like Burlington and shit like
The
that.
Coat
Like,
Factory?
yeah,
Yeah.
like
They actually have some really good
or
deals
Ross
over there, man.
or
How
any
many-
of those type of places.
dude, I went into I want to say it was a Burlington's or one of those places that's there on Davis.
Yeah, they have Burlington there.
They still have Reggie Bush jerseys from the Saints in there that you could buy for like $10.
It's our safety, Raphael Bush.
No, it's fucking Reggie Bush
Yeah,
jerseys.
Raphael has the same number.
Yeah, but
Does he?
They're- they're-
25?
yeah.
For a safety?
Yeah,
Yep.
but
They
they but,
literally just pick the jersey up and like, I'll just wear this one.
So literally,
guess
like,
so,
because
yeah.
his name was R. Bush too, they just gave him that number so people can still wear their Bush jerseys.
That's lame. But actually, no, it's not. No, it's not.
it's actually
No,
actually pretty
not.
smart. Yeah,
As I think about it,
he became a super popular
because
player
they're
in New
not
Orleans.
doing it for money.
No, really, they're not.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's
I take
literally
it
because
back.
everybody spent so much money on that jersey. They're like, "Oh, we'll just give them the same number," you know, for our backup safety.
Yeah, made sense. But yeah,
I doubt those ones at the Burlington Coat Factory are for
Raphael.
Momo Bush guy. That
no,
plays
no,
in
it's
it.
not. They were Reggie Bush jerseys. But yeah, I mean, let's start with that Gators game. Like Saturday was kind of a crazy day, and I actually did not get to watch this game. So, Bobo,
I did.
Yeah, I
I
imagine
had
you
it
did.
in the Florida State game on the same time.
I chose to go see the new Kingsman movie at that time, which was, I promised, a lot better than apparently the Gators game was. By the way, if y'all haven't seen that, go fucking see that shit. It's
pretty
badass.
good. I figured it was.
Well, I mean, you get to see somebody get killed by having their head shoved through a meat grinder. So yeah, it was good.
Spoiler.
Nice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gave away one of about 500 deaths that happens in that movie. But anyways, so yeah, I missed that game completely. I walked out of the movie theater, immediately checked my phone, and saw what I did not expect to see. Gators lost to LSU. So I mean, Bobo, you, because I see you, I don't need to ask you. You didn't watch it. So what happened? Like what went down?
I
to
said it earlier. I'm still waiting for the masterminds of offense to show up to the coaching staff that we apparently already have. I don't know where they're at. Apparently they've been there for 3 years, but I haven't seen them yet, and I don't know what they're doing or what they're waiting on. But whenever that brilliant offensively minded coach wants to go ahead and start coaching and calling plays and stuff, that'll be great.
It seems
'Cause he
like
ain't whoever that person is, he's not calling plays right now.
it seems like the quarterback scenario over there has just been a fucking mess for years over there. Like I mean,
even if it is
they-
trash, you can still figure out what they can do and what they can't do. You should at least know that.
Yeah.
Rather than just keep doing what they can't do over and over again. Figure what they can do or don't recruit them. I don't understand what's going on. Why they just keep getting these?
It's not going to get better against
Average
Texas
dudes.
A&M either.
Yeah,
No, probably not.
I don't.
They scored 26 in Alabama, so that's your. Was it 26? Was it more?
It's pretty much the only
Yeah,
competition
I
that
think
team has
Alabama only scored 27 on them. I think.
No, Texas A&M.
Yeah,
No,
here-
Texas A&M had at least 26 points in that game. I'm pretty sure.
let me look it up. But I mean,
That's your measuring stone. If they can score 26 in Alabama, they can score 48 in Florida probably.
I mean, where's that game being
Well,
played
no,
at this
actually,
week?
Florida's defense is pretty decent still. So I mean, but there's turnover.
Yeah, see, it was Alabama scored 27.
What game
Texas
was I
A&M got
looking at?
19.
I thought, well, you know what? I don't know.
That's still the most competitive game Alabama's seen all year.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm pretty sure Texas A&M's gonna win.
it was a far cry from the 125 points Bama put up on Ole Miss and Vanderbilt, but
You think Arkansas is going to give them any trouble?
Who Alabama?
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna blow them out like they did Vanderbilt and Ole Miss, but I think they'll still win.
Alabama's not gonna get any trouble until they get to Auburn, maybe.
Yeah, it's. I mean, usually.
And
I mean,
that's
I
only because it's Auburn.
I still don't. Because it's a rival game. I still don't ever try to look over the LSU game, but it's kind of hard not to now.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
I
they
didn't know.
lost to Troy.
yeah, I know. I mean, but apparently right now South Alabama is taking it to Troy from what we heard on the way over here. So
Really?
it was 9-0 whenever we were pulling up. 9-0. South
And now
Alabama.
I gotta hear just about how
South
South
Al-
Alabama can beat Florida. That's-
South Alabama.
Football on Wednesday
Me
to
and-
defy the laws of tradition.
Yeah, I know, right? I didn't even know that game was actually tonight. But
yeah, a Wednesday game.
yeah,
They're
I
playing
know.
on the Rocket too. 96.1 is playing the game.
The South Alabama
like the
Troy
classic
game.
rock that I tune into that channel to hear.
Somehow they're beating Troy, and I was at a South Alabama game earlier this year against Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma State, I mean, granted, I know they've got at one point in time, a Heisman potential quarterback, but torched them. It didn't even look fair. Like, I mean, like the size of the players on Oklahoma State were massive compared to these guys from South Alabama. It didn't even look like this. I remember watching them warming up, being like, "This is gonna suck. Like this is gonna be a bad game." And apparently, they're hanging in there with the same team that just beat the LSU Tigers a couple weeks ago. So I don't know. Like college football every year just is always weird. So I mean, the Gators, they lost LSU, so they've got a big matchup this week with Texas A&M. It's not looking too good. There were some other big losses that happened in college football. Oklahoma was the big one. They lost to Iowa State, and they were expected to dominate that team and ended up losing.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising. I flipped
was-
through the channels and saw that. I was like, "What?" And I looked back and was like, "Wait a minute, that's real score.
Yeah,
That's not from like 2 years ago or
No,
something."
That
crazy.
just happened.
that just happened. We need to get a sound bite for that, by the way.
I just gave you one.
Well, cool. Record that shit and let's make it work.
No, why can't I just do it live?
Because you can do effects and make it sound all baller and shit. I know you have.
so
the
I don't
skills,
sound baller and
but
shit.
not all the time. No, but
No,
I
you're
mean,
gonna hurt my feelings. Fuck off.
but you can make it sound like the fucking Terminator saying it, and that shit would be awesome, dude.
You can?
I want it to sound like me saying it though.
Okay, well, fine, you do it. But no, I mean, yeah.
What
So
it takes to get a concession around here, son of a bitch.
So Oklahoma State lost, and I mean Oklahoma lost, and because of that, now even though the SEC looks like garbage this year, there's two teams in the top four from the SEC. We got Alabama's number 2 and Georgia's number 4. So that's crazy. I mean, even though I guess everyone else in the SEC sucks except for those two teams and maybe potentially Auburn. There was some talk about Mississippi State maybe not being that bad. I think the jury's still kind of out on that one. So, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. But, I mean, clearly, no matter what at the end of the day, those two teams are going to be in the Final Four at the end because I mean, if it keeps going the way it's going to be, Alabama and Georgia are going to play each other in the SEC Finals. So, and I mean, I kind of hope that happens. That might actually be an entertaining SEC championship.
Florida tends to play Georgia pretty well. They
I know
always
that-
like sneak up on them.
Yeah. As bad as I've seen Florida be in the years, they'll still somehow manage to beat Georgia. So, I mean, that'll be an interesting game to keep an eye on. Another loss that it didn't necessarily shock me, but it's already sparking up some talk, and I kind of agree with it. The Wolverines, the Michigan Wolverines, a team I don't think we've ever talked about them on this show.
I like their helmets.
They got beat by Michigan State for the fourth time out of 5 years since Jim Harbaugh has been their coach. And I mean, to us
He's
down
been there that long.
he has been there that long.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
It took-
49ers have sucked for that long.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
49ers have sucked for that long. The funny, down here in the South, the Michigan State rival means basically nothing, but up there, it's a big fucking deal. And they've lost to them 4 times now. And I mean, we live in a day now where you expect immediate results when you make big changes, like spending a fuck ton of money to get a coach like Jim Harbaugh. And I mean, it's not like he's done a bad job with that program. They have a winning record every year. They make a relatively respectable bowl game, but they never made the playoffs since he's been there. And they always seem to lose really important games when it happens. So, I mean, I ask you guys this. If Michigan loses, let's say, 2 more games, are we talking about seeing Jim Harbaugh maybe being dismissed from his duties over in Michigan?
No.
You don't think so? What about you, Bobo?
Nah.
Well,
He'll be fine, especially if he can somehow beat Ohio State. That's all that really matters.
yeah, I mean, that's really, in my opinion, that's what it's going to come down to. Because to me, I kind of have this feeling that
That's what that job is about, purely. That
Yeah.
job is about beating the Buckeyes. It's not about going to the playoffs. It's not about anything else. It never has been.
Yeah,
that
fair
job is about beating Ohio State, and that is it.
Fair
Period.
enough. I just feel like, I mean, but like I said, the Michigan State one's a big deal because the fact that they keep losing to them has cost them playoff potential. A couple years ago, the reason why they didn't make the playoffs because they lost to Michigan State and they went on to play Alabama in the playoffs. But to me, it's starting to have kind of a Les Miles feel. Like, Les Miles was a great coach. He did well over at LSU, but he couldn't beat Alabama. Lost to him 1,000 times in a row. And then I remember there was a lot of mutter going on after the last time he lost to him about, okay, this is last year. They decided to stick with him, but then it just looked like this is obviously not going to work, and they can before he can lose to him again.
Well,
And-
they modeled it to look like the fans were turning on him, but that's what institutions do when they're trying to make an
Yeah.
excuse and they don't want to face the facts.
I think that name actually is the reason why he's not going to get fired because, I mean, who was out there to replace him? LSU got rid of Les Miles, and they didn't really replace him.
Yeah,
You know what
they
I mean?
just-
Ed Orgeron was there, and he was cheap, and he did okay. That's why he's there.
I think Les Miles' next coaching job is going to be replacing Butch Jones.
I see. I've often wondered what happened to Les. I know he said he was going to take some time off, but like, he's been basically not heard of since he got fired from LSU. And
He's taking his time off.
yeah, I mean,
He's
fair
just
enough.
chilling somewhere.
Fair enough. I'm just surprised. I mean, he did great things over there at LSU. I mean, he's helped groom some of the finest players that are out there in the NFL, except for that one running back that plays for the Jaguars.
We
but-
got to get rid of this coach. He's giving us 10 wins every year. That's unacceptable.
Well, because it was, I'm telling you, it's because of the fact that he couldn't beat Bama 5 years in a row. Or no, I think it was a lot more than that. He kept losing to him, and I mean, after that last loss he had is when you magically started hearing, "Do we get rid of this guy?" Because they
you know how
can't.
many hat throws there must have been, Bobo?
That shit is funny.
You know what was really weird about Les Miles too was the way he clapped. His fingers were always out. I swear to God, go
He's
look.
a weirdo, man. That's why they called him the Mad Hatter. He ate grass for crying out loud.
Yeah, and he did eat grass. He was kind of a weird guy. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, like
His sound bites were the best, man.
Yeah,
They
I
didn't
mean,
make sense, but I loved them.
if the Wolverines lose a couple more games, including to Ohio State, which I think is definitely going to happen, I don't know. Maybe Les Miles might be a candidate to go over there and coach for Michigan. I've seen crazier things happen.
I was
I
excited.
doubt
I
it.
saw a baseball comment on the chat.
And CJ got really excited.
Yeah, the Indians. It's 2-3 now. They were
Oh,
losing
speaking
3-0.
of, what was the final on the Cubs and Nats? today?
I didn't see the final, but the Nationals hit a grand slam in like the 8th to take the lead.
Really? So
Yeah.
they're forcing a game 5. It
Yep.
looks like.
Yep,
All
it's
right,
gonna be
which will
game 5.
tomorrow night. Or
Strasburg
tomorrow
pitched
afternoon, so-
The
incredible.
playoffs start already?
So,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
dude, it's been a great series.
Yeah,
They-
Dod-
Baseball?
yeah.
Dodgers swept the Diamondbacks.
to win the NLDS, and
Mm-hmm.
see, I'm kind of not. We'll bring up baseball here for a second since we're
Can we do it after the show?
you know.
We still got
Baseball
what
is
time is it? It's at
America's
9:43.
pastime.
you guys know I was-
Give us 15 minutes. So you guys can
Yeah,
discuss
we haven't even talked about the NFL yet. We're
We
talking
talked about soccer
we're
for a
talking
little
about
bit.
playoffs?
Give us like a couple minutes to talk baseball here.
So you remember last year I was actually in Chicago for Game 2 of the NLCS when I was escorted out of Wrigley because of some assholes and whatnot. But anyway,
That is a very Kenny thing to happen. By the way,
I was
I believe that.
I was somewhat praying that we would see them again in the NLCS. But I mean, it's kind of a pick your poison thing at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't had that great of a season, but they're starting to catch fire. Where the Dodgers had this historical run and then almost just as evenly historical collapse. And now we're just trying to train back from that. And I'm not sure we're back to full.
I don't know who you guys match up better with. Was it either the Cubs or the Nationals?
Regular season
Like,
speaking, I mean, we dominated both, really.
So I don't know. I like the Nationals a lot. I think they got a really great team.
We swept
'Cause-
them on a 4-game series.
Is the Nationals
But that's pitchers between Scherzer and Strasburg.
Kyle Miller says 5-0 Washington. Is he talking about the Nationals? Like,
Yeah, the Strasburg pitched today and through a gym.
hell
So
yeah. That's cool.
I was like a big fan of the Red Sox Astros series. That the last game was really good, especially. But then the Farrell just got released for the Red Sox, so they're going to need a new manager. Nah, John Farrell, the manager.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You went
like,
Farrell.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised that they don't want that guy back. I mean, he has never missed.
From
a
now
playoff.
on, when we're talking about things that Bobo doesn't, I was about to say I was going to lean back in my chair and not give a shit, but nobody's going to see me do it. I'm just surprised Bobo hasn't fell asleep yet.
Right? We
But
talk about
the next-
baseball for a
right, the
minute.
next poll we do is what's going to happen more often? CJ's going to say something racist or Bobo's going to yawn. Let's figure out which one happens
CJ will
most.
probably say something.
I haven't
racist.
said anything racist tonight yet.
Yeah,
so-
well, I
but
mean, we still got 15 minutes. Well, I mean, it'll probably be longer than that because we got still time.
I mean, we could talk about our Burger King experience,
Yeah, I mean that did happen after last week's show. I had a pretty wild Burger King experience.
and we'll save that for the end.
Yeah. But so yeah. Anyways.
We
So
don't
yeah.
want to just blow their minds.
Yeah, I know, right? Because it was such an incredible thing that happened. I got bad service at a Burger King at 10 o'clock at night.
Well, I'll sum up baseball real quick. It's a good series. Yankees came back on the Indians to take the lead. They were down 2-0 in the series, and
we're
we're playing
playing
Game
baseball.
5 right now. I'm sorry, Bobo.
No, you're
Give
fine.
Go fuck yourself, you
I
son of a
know.
bitch!
This is
I'll
like
come right out of
episode
the booth and
49.
fucking
I
whack
think
you,
we
you
talked
fucking
about
prick.
baseball in 2 of them. So give me a break.
it is
What-
kind of crazy that hey, we actually dedicated a whole episode to the Yankees that one time. But
Do we? Oh, whatever.
Well, in title, you guys
Yeah.
talked about the Yankees for talked about Derek Jeter for like 8 seconds.
We'll probably talk about onions and cabbage more later, anyway. Or LaCroix or whatever.
no,
bullshit.
but I won't lie. I was kind of surprised to hear that they out of all the pictures I sent you yesterday, that's the first one that you put up is the LaCroix one that I sent you like 10 weeks ago.
Well, he just said something about LaCroix, so I
Yeah.
brought it up.
And
Okay,
they have a good deal at Winn-Dixie for LaCroix.
I actually saw that. Well, I saw the deal that they
which
had.
I was going to tell you about.
Actually,
There's a
I'm
ton
getting
of
off track
LaCroix
here.
at
But I
Winn-Dixie.
was surprised to hear about homeboy from the Red Sox getting canned, or well, he didn't get canned. They're just not bringing him back, I guess. But I was surprised to hear that. I mean, they never missed the playoffs with him. They won the World Series, 4 years ago? I guess it was. Like,
Who?
the Red Sox.
Yeah, well, they've been on a downward slope.
I guess. I mean, yeah, fair enough. All right, so moving on. Thank you for that, CJ.
No problem.
I'm glad I didn't mention hockey now.
Done.
But
Astros are going to win the whole thing anyway.
Watch the views come back up.
I believe that. Go Astros.
That's only because you're awake.
Well, I've been wanting to talk fantasy the entire night because there was a huge trade that just went down.
Yeah, because everyone was really wanting to know what you have to say about your fantasy football team.
Yes, our audience can't wait to hear about your trade.
About your
in fantasy
trade.
football.
But really, like before we get into all the games, can we please talk about cocaine for a minute and how apparently it's really popular in the and now he finally puts one up.
What, in the restaurant business?
Yeah, it's popular in the restaurant business.
Gordon Ramsay's
Gordon
been talking
Ramsay.
about it.
Gordon Ramsay said it's popular in the restaurant business. I mean,
Which we all know.
wait, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, how is that news now?
What
Like,
drug isn't popular in the service industry
Yeah.
in
No,
general?
I don't think people outside the service industry really understand how
Yeah.
restaurants cocaine has a restaurant problem. That's
Watch
Gordon
the movie.
Ramsay's
Yeah,
thing.
right. It's like,
Watch the movie Waiting. There's not much of an exaggeration. That movie is how that shit
Yeah, a
goes
lot of
down.
people
well, I mean,
find
yeah,
that stuff to be
out of
satire.
the 4 people involved on this show, 2 of us work in a restaurant. Like, I blame every bad
Bobo
habit I've
worked in a
ever.
restaurant
And
for a
I
long
have
time.
worked for a
Yeah,
while,
and-
but
and
yeah.
so did
We've
so
all
Kenny,
worked in
yeah.
this- in
We've
the
all
industry.
worked.
I was so much of an asshole. They never let me anywhere near front of the house.
Dude, I blame every bad habit I've ever gotten into because of working at a restaurant.
Because you deal with people
Yeah,
all
exactly.
night long, and you're like, you get off, you're like, fuck it, I gotta.
But
forget
apparently
about
another
my-
thing that drives you to do cocaine and stuff like that is coaching Jay Cutler and the Miami Dolphins. And that shit happened, and I guess
Miami is a big coke town, by the way.
it is a really big coke town. But apparently, like, he kind of was smitten on a model, and Or he had been smitten. Oh, the cat's in here, by the way.
Yeah.
He had been smitting on a model for a while, and I guess this model decided to.
She's a stripper. She's not a model.
Was she a stripper? Because I don't know her
She's
profession.
a stripper.
Yeah, I mean, her profession said model, but
Because
I mean,
there are no pictures of her without clothes on anywhere.
yeah, I know. Because
Well, I heard dancer is what I heard.
I heard there was no pictures of her naked on the internet.
Yeah.
But no,
She's
like,
not on the cover
but-
of Victoria's Secret or anything. Just saying.
but first, let's put this out there. One, drug lesson 101. Why in the name of Christ would you ever film yourself doing that and send it to anybody?
Because he's a
Yeah, and
dumbass.
people were
I mean,
going
yeah, well,
after her,
obvious-
saying that she released the video. And she was like, no, he filmed himself
Yeah.
and sent it to me.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very stupid move on that guy's. Just please, people, if you're young out there and you're just now deciding to do drugs, don't
Or
videotape
old,
it.
because this
Yeah.
guy is
Or
old.
Yeah, don't videotape yourself doing drugs.
Or if you make the money of a NFL coach, please take a video of you doing a line that's way healthier than that, because that's pathetic, really, if you think about it.
that is
2
not,
to 3
Well,
million
he
a
had
year.
done
is the
quite a
salary.
few by that time by the looks of it.
Well, I mean, it looks like it looks like if he was third in line, and the other two guys were such a bitch they couldn't even finish their lines. That's pathetic. I mean,
No, it was just him by himself. Like the actual videos.
I'm glad we finally got down to the real
the
travesty
real
of this
tragedy.
thing.
The real tragedy. Yeah, I mean that is the real tragedy right there. Like someone needs to teach this guy to do drugs properly and how to not share it on the internet. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ! Like it just.
Share, just not on the internet.
Yeah,
He just shared it with the girl that he quit paying, and then once she realized he
You
stopped
know how
paying,
it works.
that's
You
when-
share it with one person now. It's like a sexual disease. Share it with one, share it with all.
But no. On the real though, like it's very hilarious that this
idiot.
guy did that. But what was even more funny, while I don't have any sympathy for this dude whatsoever. What was even funnier though, or just as funny, I guess I should say, was the stuff this girl said, like in response of it. Like I almost felt like I needed like a translator to read the fucking Facebook message that came from it. Like it didn't make sense. I had to read it like 3 times before it actually finally made sense to me. But I guess the end result was she was mad about
Not
social-
getting paid.
Not getting. Well, I mean, the real reason she said it happened was, I guess, had something to do with something to do with the social injustice thing going on, like getting mad about Colin Kaepernick and how he wasn't signed, and she said something about that, and then
Dogfighting and
Yeah,
domestic
dogfighting and then, yeah.
violence.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
originally the problem is her Facebook page started blowing up from Miami Dolphins fans that were yelling at her for releasing the video. And then
which doesn't shock me.
And then it came out that, well, then they realized, and she told them, and they realized that it wasn't like she filmed it and then released it on the internet.
Yeah,
He filmed it himself,
and sent it to her
professed his love,
Yeah.
and then sent it to her.
like a
And of
smart
course,
person
the
does.
first thing you do, if freaking some celebrity sent me a video of her doing coke while professing her love for me,
You got to
even
shop
if
it.
she's hot, I'm still showing it to somebody.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm
obviously.
probably going to show it to somebody by emailing it to them. And once it's been emailed out to one other person, it's gone.
Yeah.
It is absolutely, it's hit the streets.
It's like in that
Yeah.
one. It's like in that one Cameron Diaz movie. Like once it's in the cloud, you can't get it down from the cloud. You know,
Yeah.
like it's
Remember
just it's
that,
out there.
that movie
It will
with
hit the
Jason
street.
Segel?
Yeah, the sex tape movie. Yeah,
I will say she is pretty hot. I'll give her props.
Cameron Diaz.
But-
Yeah, I
no,
mean,
not Cameron Diaz. She's kind of gross, but like this chick,
Oh,
Who?
the stripper that's involved. Like she's
Oh,
pretty good. looking.
Tijuana, but it's not Tijuana, it's like Kiawana.
Yeah, it's
I
something
think,
weird.
With a K.
No, but
Even
she's
though
pretty-
everyone kept spelling it Tijuana, so when you search for her, no one could figure out who she was.
so they're just getting like
At
pictures
first,
of
yeah.
Mexico.
TMZ threw out there as Tijuana, and no one could find her. And then someone replaced the T with a K, I think, we were able to find her.
grab a beer.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just you. He's
Here's
a
the thing-
dumbass. Like, he deserves no sympathy. If anybody is defending him, you're fucking
No, I
retarded.
mean, there's nothing to defend.
Yeah,
If I were her, though, I would just release it if she wanted to release it.
Yeah, I
Be
don't-
like, this is what's
I would
going
have shopped
down.
it. I would have shopped the
Well, no,
shit out of it.
she'll do TV shows soon, dude. Like
Yeah.
Maury and all that stuff.
Apparently, she made a crap load of money off this guy for at least a little while. Like,
But I think she had a kid. Is that what he was saying?
did he? Or did
he.
she?
And it was
I guess.
child support money?
I guess. Yeah, he had kids and he's separated. So I don't know.
Nah, who knows?
But he was
So much
making 2 to 3 million a
misinformation,
year
incorrect information.
to.
This is going to help his custody case.
Yeah.
It's hard to even
Oh,
try
yeah,
and
right.
follow it. It just sounds like nonsense. So anyway, he did it.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, it was. It was an interesting story. I remember when I saw it when I was at work. I was like, oh, thank God I have a show to do this Wednesday. This will be fun to talk about.
I do like how long it really did take an alarmingly long amount of time for him to quit fired. I mean, not alarmingly, but it took a couple of hours, which I guess people thought was too long. That he was still working there for that long, but like. Well, I mean, you gotta verify everything. But
Yeah, I was about to say. Like,
the
I think
thing is, though, at the same time, it was 100% him.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was no other person on
No.
earth.
No,
it
yeah.
was him.
Like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, don't film yourself doing things that you shouldn't be doing. It's like filming yourself killing somebody and then blasting it on Facebook or something. Like, it's just
Well,
stupid.
that
Like,
happened.
There's
Yeah, I know that's the sad thing. Like,
two girls in California
One
at a
cup.
Lakers game. There's a Lakers preseason game.
yeah,
Their anthem came on, and one guy was black. One guy looks like he might be Hispanic. They were sitting down during the anthem and not standing up. So the two girls got up, and one girl called them trash, and the other girl said nigger something, and then they threw their cokes on them. And then they look back at these girls, and then they look, and everyone else is staring at them. So,
Yeah.
And then when they left the Coliseum, a couple white dudes that were with the girls went up to them and started choking them, and the security guys and the cops just like move along. But there's actually recording of that, but that hasn't been released yet. But all I know is this: the coke did get thrown to the guys. There's a video of that she put it on Twitter and filmed it, and
Really?
then I guess you're expecting the certain group of people to be all for it, which they most likely were, but more people, to their surprise, thought it was trash and started calling them out. So they deleted all their social media accounts, Facebook, everything.
Yeah.
But it was, but once the shit hits the cloud,
yeah.
It
they
stays there.
found them. They found their names. They found where they worked at. They went to some Samaritan college, like evangelist college, like Catholic Christian College of Berkeley, blah blah blah, something like that. Well, anyway,
That's not
and
shocking.
they released everything, and all their names are. And then so again, if you're gonna film something, you have to know that, especially something like that, or it's just that. I mean, they actually put theirs on Twitter. It wasn't leaked. They leaked it themselves.
Yeah.
Thinking that it was gonna be this tremendous moment in history when it really was just.
When
How come people can't mind their fucking business anyway? Like, if I'm at a game and I see that, like, I could care less about what you're doing. Like, I care about,
see
like,
people sitting down all the time when the anthem comes. Not
Yeah.
because they're protesting, but they just don't want to fucking stand. They're just chilling.
It's
that's the whole protest thing. That's like, I'm at the point where, like, I don't care what you do. Like, I want to see.
I never really did. Like, I mean,
I want to
don't
see
why
a
anybody
football
does.
go
Yeah.
from one person's hand to another person's hand and hopefully get into an end zone or not. get
Here's a
into
good
an end zone.
example.
Like, I don't care anymore.
When I was
Yeah.
at the when I was working the other podcast for the Alabama Watch Party, I sat and watched a guy, two guys have a not heated but just passionate conversation about how messed up it was that NFL players are taking a knee or sitting down, and this same douchebag didn't remove his houndstooth hat when the
Yeah.
national anthem came on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to remove your hat, put your hand to your
Yeah,
heart.
I mean,
like,
there's rules, and like even recently in hockey, of course, it had to be my team, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Defenseman JT Brown, who's only played 1 out of 3 games this year. He's, I guess, the first and so far only hockey player I could think of that showed small showings of this. He raised his fist while standing in silence and all that stuff. He raised his fist during the national anthem, and hockey fans lost their collective shit over that. I mean,
Well,
there was vets that started liking the Tampa Bay. Like, I tried to tell you about this on our group chat because you would have really gotten a kick out of it, man. Like, there was people with the I stand thing on their Facebook pages or whatever that started liking the Lightning on Facebook to come and talk about how much of a scumbag team they were because after the game was over, which the Lightning lost that one and only
Most
game.
of those people they're not fans; they're plants.
Yeah, exactly.
JT Brown says he got death threats for
Yeah,
raising fists during the anthem.
Yeah, JT Brown got death threats and stuff like that, and then
That's fucking ridiculous.
And Steven Stamkos in an interview after the game, which he didn't want to talk about it. Period. It was the one and only game the Lightning's lost so far, but they started asking him about it, and Stamkos, who's the Lightning's captain, him and Ryan Callahan actually, who also plays for the Lightning, he was really behind him. Said, "Look, we're a team. we're not going to throw this guy under the bus for anything. Like, we're a team, we stand behind him, and that's all there is to it. And they moved on to talking about the game.
But he was
standing. Yeah, he was standing.
Yeah, he just raised his fist.
He raised his fist, which apparently means nothing more than being a Black Panther.
Yeah.
So whenever I go to a rock concert, which I'm going to this Monday, and I raise my fist, I'm supporting the Black Panthers by doing that. Not
By
because
the way,
I'm
it
having...
also should be a good movie. But go ahead.
Yeah,
But,
The Black Panther.
the Black Panther
Oh, yeah.
movie. The trailer looks really good. So does Thor.
But like, I mean,
Thor looks
but
really
people
good.
really lost their collective shit over it. It was so
That's-
funny.
I just didn't go in, so I was like, oh damn, they went all in.
Oh man, it's just getting worse and worse.
The
and I
funny
could care
thing
less
is
and less.
The funny thing is, people were more furious that Stamkos and Ryan Callahan, who
Didn't say anything.
were that they said they supported him. You know,
Oh.
they were more mad about that than the guy actually doing. Because here's the thing: the next day, and not because of hockey, or not because of that, because of hockey-related reasons, he was a scratch. He did not play against the Capitals on Monday night.
Because of where they do the rotation.
Well,
right?
yeah, he's a defenseman, and the Lightning generally tend to only run with about 7 defensemen because of the way their play is, and they didn't need him. He's really not that good. Like he's okay. Like, but I mean,
Hockey.
nobody we needed.
Yeah.
But he didn't play in that game. But they were mad because Ryan Callahan said it's okay. It doesn't bother us. You know, like. And they were just like, it doesn't bother him, you assholes. Fuck the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we're currently the asshole of the NHL right now. So, but
We pick and choose which freedoms our military people died for,
exactly.
not
I mean,
you.
Like it's crossover to hockey now. We're boycotting a sport that doesn't even get watched that much on TV. Like, like most of these people saying they're boycotting the NHL. I'm like, do you even know what the blue line means in hockey? Like, please tell me that before you boycott the sport. You know, like.
I'm not buying ice.
Yeah, right. You know, if they think I'm taking my daughter to go ice skating on that rink, well then by God, I'll tell you what. All right, so moving on,
Oh man,
we
the
got
end of winter.
yeah. We've got very little time left. Let's go through our picks for the NFL this week. Glad you had a good trade this week, CJ.
Yeah, it was a great
It
trade.
was a great trade. You got Michael Thomas because Odell Beckham got hurt, which does suck, and J.J. Watt got hurt, and that also really sucks.
Deshaun Watson's the greatest player.
Deshaun
ever.
Watson's having a great season for a team that still keeps losing, but
But they got a great young
No, I mean-
quarterback for a very long time from now
The
on.
Saints shut them out though, which
Not the Saints, the Texans.
Saints, the Saints shut the Texans out, didn't they?
No, we shut out the Dolphins.
Yeah, we shut out the
I
Dolphins.
think they had 2 shutouts.
No,
We haven't played the Texans this year.
Do they have 1 shutout?
we shut out the Dolphins, which
And
is
then we beat the
surprising because they
Panthers
had
the
Jay
week before
Cutler.
that.
And then we beat the
I thought Jay
Panthers.
Cutler was awesome.
He is awesome.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so moving on. Tomorrow night's game in Carolina, the Eagles versus the Panthers. I am going to take the Panthers on this one. Bobo, how you feeling on this?
Who? The Eagles and the Panthers?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the fucking Eagles, dude. They're soaring.
Heard? Okay. I'm still like the way
That
Cam
was
Newton's
not
playing
meant to be a pun, but
But
it
it
was.
works. Yeah. It works really well.
CJ, who you liking this one?
I don't care.
Dude,
Carolina.
I wish we could talk about it a little bit longer, but the Eagles are one of my surprise, like,
They're good.
Wentz.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
what's that,
they're
Arugula?
they're playing well this year.
The guy that sounds like lettuce, he's really good. The receiver, Aguilera,
Nelson Aguilar.
Christina, him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are playing really well this year. I think the Panthers just somehow managed to get them tomorrow night at home.
I don't know, man. I'm digging
The Panthers
Eagles
have looked.
season.
The Panthers
Cam
look
Newton's
well.
come around the last few weeks.
They have looked pretty good these last couple weeks.
Okay.
Kenny, how about you over there? Okay, so Kenny is saying that he doesn't want to participate this week. Okay, so,
We don't actually write these down, so there's no way. Like,
Well, maybe it's giving input, by the way.
okay.
All right.
I'll take the Eagles. They've surprised the hell out of me.
Okay, fair enough. I'll be alone in my principles on that one.
I picked the Panthers.
Oh, you did? Oh, I was
Yeah.
listening
Nobody
to you.
gives a shit.
Damn it, man.
All right. So we're half and half on that
Ooh,
one.
this is a tough one.
Ravens and Bears in
Bears,
Baltimore.
Running game too tight for Baltimore.
So you're going the Bears on that one?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you on that one. I like the Bears too, even though I do have a running back over in Baltimore that I would like to see do well. But
Javorius Allen.
yeah, I'm riding high on him in 2 leagues actually.
You gotta see Trubisky go off for the Bears.
Yeah, I would like to see him do something for that team since they gave up so much for him. So I'm taking the Bears on that one. CJ, how you feeling on this one, buddy?
Ravens.
Ravens. How about you, Kenny?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Ravens.
Heard. All right, Texans and Browns. I think this game's in Houston. I'm taking the Texans all day on this one. I think. Is anybody not taking Houston?
Deshaun Watson's playing
Oh,
at
yeah,
MVP
they
like
benched
level right
Coach
now.
Kaiser
playing
guy,
well.
right?
Yeah, it's
he-
Kevin
he-
Hogan.
Yeah,
was the-
Hogan
For
when he started.
Hogan,
Yes.
Texans.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason.
Why would
not-
you start a brand new guy and then just bench him?
That-
If
that-
you
that
guys
is- that is
start a
one- that
team
is one of-
young, you gotta just go for it.
That
dude.
is one of
Your
Cleveland's
rights,
biggest problems. They just keep
American.
putting in new people. It's like, oh well, we just lost 2 games. Put in somebody else. Like,
Dude, this guy,
like Hogan's gonna magically just like take him to the Super Bowl. You know? But
well, he played okay for him.
he played okay for him, but I mean,
Their coach is going to have like 2 combined wins in 2 seasons, and he probably won't get fired. Either.
I would love to see the Browns just get a quarterback and stick with him for an entire season. And so I mean, if you're gonna take a
If you're gonna
dump,
start someone that young, then yes, you
Yeah.
need to stick with him.
Yeah, if
and
you're-
see where it goes.
yeah, if you're gonna take a
Yeah.
dump on the field, then stand behind it.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
just,
gotta go with that, man.
Yeah.
You
I'm
I'm
can't
not
just
saying he's
pull out.
Troy Aikman, but Troy Aikman's first year he went 1-15.
A
Yeah,
lot
fair
of
enough.
good dudes first year
Yeah.
went shit and shit.
Peyton Manning went 3-13.
Yeah, a lot
it
of people.
happens. I mean, the Browns have been doing this for years. Like they'll lose. a
Yeah,
couple
why are they
games
trying
and
to be a rest up on the laurels now? Oh, we better let's pull him back in.
Well,
guys.
yeah, we've lost 5 games. We've lost
out here,
5 games in a row. Let's make a quarterback change so we can save our season.
Yeah.
Funny. That's funny.
You need
Cleveland.
to find a reason to do that voice at least once a show.
Yeah,
I
right.
love that. That was awesome.
The Vikings and the Packers. That game will be in Minnesota. I think the Vikings are playing. I mean, even though they did beat the Bears, I don't see them being Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers is just too clutch. So I'm taking the Packers on that one. How about you, Bobo?
I expect a high scoring affair. Whenever I say that, it's always like 13-2, but
Right.
I'm expecting a high scoring affair, and Green Bay will win, but it'll probably come down to the fourth quarter. 20 points at least scored by each team.
Okay. How about you, Steve?
Case Keenum versus Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to take the Packers.
Kenny?
Packers defense is a little shitty right now, though, which is why I'm giving them those points.
It's a little
Yeah, I
suspect,
can see
but
that.
Kenny giving this one some thought.
Yeah, I mean that is a tough one. I mean, the Packers still have
And Sutter
really
does have some playmakers,
The-
even though they lost Cook.
the Packers have at least another 2 to 3 weeks to hit form. That's just what they do, man. They hit their stride towards midseason, and then they take off from there. But man, I'll like Boba said, I'm gonna give this one by it's gonna be a close game.
Okay, so fair enough. All right, next game in New Orleans, the Lions versus the Saints.
Are the Lions still doing well?
Well,
3-2.
yeah, they're 3-2, and they lost their.
2-2.
We're 2-2 right now because we had the bye last week. Matthew Stafford also got banged up pretty good in that last game.
Chance he might not play.
Yeah, there's a chance he might not play.
Who's his backup? I don't remember.
The Lions have also beaten the Saints the last 4 times they played them.
3.
Or I think it was 4 times.
It's 3 times.
Oh, it was the last 3 times. And me
He
and
told you for so he
Yeah.
could correct you.
yeah, right.
Yeah, that's
me,
what I do.
me and CJ
Little
were there.
misinformation.
Me and CJ were there to witness that last one. So I think the Saints have been looking good the last couple games. The defense has stepped up a little bit, especially if Matthew Stafford doesn't play or isn't quite himself. I think that could be problems with the Lions. Saints 0-1. I'm going with the Saints on this one. How about you, Bobo?
Homer alert. Homer
I'll
alert.
take it on that one. I think it's a smart
Is
pick.
John Kitna the backup for this?
Yeah.
Is he still the backup?
Yeah,
there?
he's still the back. He's still
if
there.
He came out there and did his wildness. That'll be pretty funny.
But the way that we do, like, against backup quarterbacks, I'm sure Kitten would come in there and throw 400 yards on us. It
Much
doesn't
like
matter.
Jay Cutler did against the Saints in London.
I think that
No,
the Saints
I
are
would
due
keep
for an
Stafford.
L,
I'm kidding.
only because of how things go for the Saints. So, and Detroit is definitely not horrible. So I'll give Detroit, even though it's at home, I give the edge to Detroit. We'll see.
CJ, how you feeling on this one?
I'll pick Detroit.
I'll be happy to be wrong though. Kind of.
CJ has literally just switched teams. This guy is a Texans fan now.
No, it's
Yeah,
just
he gave me all of his. He gave me all
for
of his.
what
Saints
happens
gear.
is I never actually pick the Saints to
Oh,
win.
what do
know,
I
it's
think's
fucking-
gonna happen? Oh, not the Saints.
Okay, cool. I'll be alone with my principles on that one.
No, like
Very alone.
I always
I'll
pick
take it.
against them. That way, I'm happy if they win,
I
and
know, I'm
if
just fucking
like
with you.
if they lose,
Expect
I
the
win,
worst,
like,
hope for the
yeah,
best.
So.
Yep. I do believe they'll win this game though. If they don't, whatever. But
And then they're 2-3.
yeah, and then we get the Packers next. Fair enough. The Dolphins and the Falcons. Yeah, that game's in Atlanta. I'm taking the Falcons because the Dolphins are fucking garbage.
Yeah, they're pretty terrible.
Who has the best cocaine?
Miami has the best cocaine.
I'll go Miami.
Well, actually,
So, I was about to say Hot Atlanta, bro.
you know, hold on. I was gonna say, let me take that back. Young Jeezy is from Atlanta, and that dude wrote like what 5 different albums about cocaine, about selling it.
Where do you think it comes from, though? That's all Miami Connect.
It
man.
comes from Cuba, and it goes through Miami first.
Cuba, Colombia, maybe.
Colombia, whatever. Like, but Cuba gets really good coke
But it
too,
goes
don't
through
they?
Miami, man. That's its
Yeah,
first
sandwiches.
stop.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure that the coke that Young Jeezy was
So we
selling
decide,
when he was
is
younger.
it? I don't know. I mean, is it Miami?
I guess Miami has the better
If
coke.
anyone
But
wants to call in for a second and let us know.
Miami probably has the better cocaine, but I'm sure
Well,
Atlanta.
then I'm going with Miami.
I'm sure Atlanta. So we're going cocaine on this one.
A close cut though. Whatever that's lingo. I don't know.
A close cutler on that one.
Well, there you go.
There
Yes.
you go.
Oh, Jesus
A bump.
Christ.
We talk about cocaine a lot on the show today. That's kind of funny. The Patriots and the Jets in New
Falcons,
York.
by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Charles Barkley's going to call
Yeah,
in a second.
I'm taking the Falcons on that one. CJ's got the Falcons. Kenny, how about you?
Cutler will still throw for 3 and 1
I'll take
for
the Falcons.
1, though.
You're taking the Falcons too? All right. The Patriots and the Jets. That game is in New York. I think this should be an easy pick, but the Jets are like not sucking like they're supposed to right
yeah,
now.
and the Patriots are on some sort of farewell tour right now.
Yeah, I know that's kind of what it feels like. I'm not on good faith. I can't take the Jets in this game. I'm gonna take the Patriots, but I'm gonna think it's gonna be surprisingly close.
Yeah,
in my
I'll take the
opinion.
Patriots, but
It's gonna
yeah,
be shockingly close.
They'll
I
be
think this
fine.
comes down to a
The
fourth.
Patriots will be fine. They'll be fine. At the end of the year, they'll be fine.
Patriots are going to stomp on them.
I don't think it's gonna be a stomp. I think they're gonna win by
I
a
don't
touchdown,
I
maybe
really
2.
don't see any reason why it wouldn't be.
Teams
I mean,
just lose their mojo against the Pats.
I didn't think there
They're-
would be any reason for them to struggle
It's
against the
been
Panthers.
it's been
but
an every other game type situation. Though is what it seemed like.
That's the Jags, too, man.
yeah, that is the Jags who are on a bye this
No,
week.
that's on a very excessive level.
The 49ers will pay a visit to the Redskins. I am definitely taking the Redskins on that one because I think the 49ers are total garbo.
they are Greta Garbo. They are really in bad shape.
Yeah, it's
Just
not
sign
looking good.
Kaepernick and be done with it.
Oh no,
And
the
be done with
Jaguars do have a
everything.
game this week.
Just sign Kaepernick.
Here, the
Yeah.
Niners get him back.
Yeah, man, just get him back, and this is keep it
I
rolling.
think
dude.
as desperate as Colin Kaepernick is to playing for a team.
I don't know if he is though. Do you
Well,
think
well,
he is?
I mean, he keeps saying about how I shouldn't use the word desperate, but he's shown interest at how he wants to play football. But even in that, if he like got offered a contract, they're like, oh, you know what? See what
It's
you
the
guys
most-
got for me next year. You know,
It's the
like,
most liberal city in America, though. I mean,
yeah,
he
but
could
I mean,
be fine there. I'm not even sure how they even got rid of. Well, I guess.
Why would
I
Why
think
would
you
anybody
have a
else
better
want-
chance of signing with the Niners than Kaepernick does.
Who?
Either one of y'all. Or me.
I think I said Neo. I was
No,
like,
not
oh,
Neo.
damn,
I
he's
think
a-
any of us would have a better shot. Well, they do not want him back.
I don't
Yeah.
know why.
I don't know if he would really
Do
want
they
to
have
come
a
back.
win yet?
I don't really know if he would. The
Yes.
49ers, yeah,
They got
did.
to win.
they got one.
They beat somebody.
They beat somebody, yeah.
Yeah.
God.
I don't know who. I don't pay attention to them.
But either way, so are you going? Who are you going with in this one, CJ?
The Niners against the Redskins?
Yeah,
Redskins.
Redskins.
Because
Kenny.
Yeah, I'll go with the Skins.
Does anyone
Alright.
ever go and check what we say and see if we're right or wrong?
Nope. Nope.
No, that's what I said earlier. We don't pay
for?
attention. I know.
I mean, we can stop doing it. I mean, I
I
just.
don't know. I mean, I keep thinking to myself. I was like, who picked what? I was like, who's?
Yeah.
Is anyone winning?
I was
We-
like,
we-
if we actually like took the time to like check it.
Right, and it's
Yeah.
always at the end of the show, so I'm always so tired of it.
So are you guys
It's like-
saying we should just stop doing this?
No, let's just
Not my
finish. I mean,
decision.
finish this week since we're already fucking doing it, and then I mean, it's a quick.
Or keep
I
track.
feel kind of silly now,
Can
like
we
going
keep
through
track
it.
of
Like,
it? We can keep track.
yeah,
of it
if we
so
kept
know
track, it
who's-
would actually make sense. And
If,
if
yeah. 'cause
what if we
right
actually
now,
put money on it, like $5
someone
each
could
or
be
something?
doing excellent. Someone could be undefeated, and someone could be
I
trash. We wouldn't know
I just
idea.
know we've been doing it since like we started the show, so I've just always gone through all the games or whatever just to see what everybody has to say. But all right,
I'm
cool.
just-
And I was wrong. The Jags do play this week. They play the Rams. That game's in Jacksonville. Bobo, what do you think on that one?
Right,
Yes.
left,
Nice.
left, right.
He's
Oh
Up, down, down,
Are you
left,
guys
right, left,
Tindering right
right.
now?
tendering.
no, I'm looking at.
It's
Rams and
Oh,
Jags.
I don't no. Right. Washington Redskins.
But we're past that one. We're past.
they
that.
would beat both those.
This
teams.
segment's getting better and better as time
I'll
goes
come
on.
back to that.
Tampa Bay.
I actually accidentally skipped over that.
Tampa.
Rams and the Jaguars. You like in those?
Jaguars. What's happening? This whole entire thing is weird.
It's falling apart at the seams.
No, I said Tampa. Why am I?
What are you talking about? I said Rams or Jaguars. Like, what are you talking about?
That lasted forever.
Like, I don't know what you're. You're not
Okay,
making.
This
sense.
should be a relatively
Here's the thing.
easy thing to do.
Are you going a team at a
I accidentally skipped over that one. I
Then
was
why
gonna
are
come.
you acting so ridiculous when I said the Tampa Bay? Then I don't understand. why
Okay,
that's so
so
obnoxious.
let's go back to that one then. Tampa Bay versus the Cardinals. I'll take the Cardinals.
Tampa Bay.
He's taking the Tampa Bay.
I don't care. Tampa Bay, like, yeah, Tampa Bay is gonna beat them if they get a kicker that
Tampa
kick,
Bay.
If they can actually find a kicker that can kick, they might go get Aguayo again.
No, like what happened was I accidentally looked over the. No, I can explain it. I looked over the Bucks versus the Cardinals, and I just went to the Rams and Jaguars, and he just kept on goes Tampa Bay, and I'm like, well, hold on, like. And then that explosion of horrible podcasting happens. I kind of don't want to do this anymore now. Like it's already been decided that we shouldn't do this, and like
Bobo's got the mission. Mission
can-
accomplished.
We can do it. Just keep track, man. It's just,
I was keeping track.
No, I mean,
Yes,
like,
I was. I was coming right back to that
okay,
game.
what's our records from week 3?
I'm winning.
No, I mean, we don't know. We just say things, and then next week it's like
That's
don't
what
know
we
who was
do,
right.
man. That's what we do. How's our?
We are very lazy.
That's
Yes.
exactly yes.
As a
How's our
unit,
GoFundMe
we are
going?
lazy.
How is the GoFundMe going?
I was asked about that. the other
Yeah, I
day.
saw that.
Yeah,
on
we're
the-
supposed
on
to
the,
do
on
a
the group.
poll. We had a bunch of ideas.
Yeah, tons of ideas.
Yeah,
The
ton-
poll.
Okay,
the
If
poll.
Kenny doesn't do it, it doesn't
Where's
get
the
done.
poll?
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what I was just gonna say. Yeah, like if Kenny doesn't do it, then it doesn't get done.
I know I'm the worst.
And this is, yeah, you actually never share anything about the show on Facebook.
I do.
I have to tag you in it.
This is going to become the great collapse of the Underground
I know,
Pub
right?
Show.
That's kind of how I'm
We're
feeling.
about to be at episode 50. We can't collapse now. We have to collapse after 50.
Didn't make it over the hill.
We need to get on track with that GoFundMe because I want to go to London. All right, so cool. I'm taking the. Damn it. Why did you touch that? y'all.
answer's still
He
Tampa.
started the collapse, and now it's just happened. It's exploded. It's gone everywhere, and there's a dog. There's a dog in a house that's on fire.
Nah, this is fine.
CJ is so upset that he didn't get to talk about his trade.
I did. I made a
Why'd you
trade.
wanna
I'm shutting off the hotline, by the way.
I don't know.
Figured as much.
I just
Everyone's
thought.
like, "What?
I was like, okay,
Who are
like
these people you talking
I
about?"
thought we were talking about fantasy, like on their show, because people, it's fantasy.
Pick up McKinnon if he's available.
All
Well,
right, so cool. Let's get back on track so we can finish this.
Well, he is right, because at one point we were going to do the whole, where is it?
I can go back on all these.
Fantasy Sports Update with this dick, CJ.
Yeah, exactly. We had soundboards and everything.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's great. What game are we on? Are we on Rams Jags?
I don't know that whole thing threw me
Okay,
off. But
we're on Rams
happened to
Jags.
Tampa?
Just go down there. We all picked Tampa.
Why'd you skip Tampa?
no, I picked Arizona. Everybody else picked
Well,
Tampa.
fuck you for picking Arizona.
And then Rams versus Jaguars.
Arizona's homeless.
Arizona got a great running back,
Do they?
Yeah, apparently he's really good. He couldn't cut it with a real offense.
Adrian Peterson.
I'm taking the Jags in that one just because.
Yeah, the Jags because. No. Yes.
I'm taking the Rams because it's an even week.
An
Cool.
even week. Yeah, that's yeah.
They
good
go
point.
back and forth.
Good point.
sort of like
Kenny?
the Giants in their postseason, which
Their
that hasn't
team
been
is
the
trash.
case lately.
Yeah, the
And
odds
seeing them at the bottom of the NL West is kind of crazy.
It's kind of nice too. I kind of
Who?
got sick of the Giants.
Oh, we're talking about baseball.
yeah,
Bobo.
this is baseball. San Francisco, the Giants.
Not
Yeah,
aware. Not aware of what you're talking about.
Tim,
Do that
that's
voice
good.
again.
Alright.
There's another Giants. The Kansas City Chiefs are playing the Steelers. Oh wait, Bobo. Kenny. Who do you
What?
like? Rams or Jaguars?
Rams, Jags.
Jags. Okay.
Oh my.
Steelers versus Chiefs. That game's in Kansas City. I'm taking the Chiefs because they're just better than everybody. I think. Bobo, what about you?
I will take the Chiefs, even though I do think that Pittsburgh doesn't. Yeah, they're gonna lose. Even though it'll be strange for them to lose, it's like losing twice. But
That'll be 3 times now.
I don't
wouldn't
know.
But-
It was a
if they
5-pick
lose- if they
game
lose
that
against
Big
them.
You know
Ben
what?
had. I mean,
let's
Big Ben
face
had the
it, they're not the
nastiest game
Pittsburgh
ever.
of yesteryear. They're kind of trash.
it? Yeah, they are kind of
It's,
trash.
Probably
this is
the
the
day
first
after
year I've had
yesteryear.
Antonio Brown too. It's kind of rough.
Yeah, it's
Chiefs all the way.
Heard. Kenny?
Unfortunately.
Chiefs. Okay.
yeah.
Chargers, Raiders. Like this. Normally, I would just go right with the Raiders. This game's in Oakland, by the way.
This has been. I'm gonna go ahead and go first on this one since it's been a weekly tradition so far. The last few episodes, at least since football season has started.
Yeah.
This will be the season's first tie.
the tie.
I've got to do one a week. That's been my thing.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the Raiders, it's kind of a mess right now. The Chargers are fucking horrible, but I think they play upset in this and they beat the Raiders.
It's not an upset at this point.
Fair enough,
we're
yeah.
fucking 2-3, so it's not an upset.
Fair enough. Bubba, who you like in this one?
Troy.
Troy?
No, we'll take Chargers, but I mean, I give Troy a good chance in either one of those teams. But we'll take Chargers.
Or that the Troy Trojans can come back and take care of Phillip Rivers and the boys.
I'm down with Troy,
Down with Troy. By Troy, do you mean the Chargers or?
the guy that we used to hang out with.
Yeah, whatever happened to him?
He got married and had a kid.
Okay.
Or 2 children, actually. Now.
Oh, good for
A
him.
boy and a girl.
Yeah, he even left our fantasy league.
Yeah.
Let's go back to talking about baseball.
Chargers. I'm down, man.
Chargers.
Chargers. Yeah, I really think the Astros versus Yankees is gonna be a good series if they hold off the Indians.
Next team, please.
The Giants and the Broncos.
The
Sunday night.
Broncos. The Giants don't have any receivers.
They don't.
Sterling Shepard hurt
Yeah.
his foot too,
The
but he
entire
might be
roster
back.
of receivers got hurt.
Dude, like
The-
every
the-
other
the Gi-
play,
I
like
think the
in
Giants might-
consecutive plays, they were dropping receivers. It was.
I think the
fucking
Giants
crazy.
might lose like a majority of the rest of their games. Like, I mean, it's just kind of a travesty over there right now.
Yeah,
They're going
their
for that
coach
first pick,
is going to be
bro.
upset. He looks like my pool cleaner.
Like fuck a dude.
I don't have a pool
They
cleaner.
need to bring Kaufman back.
So I think I see all four of us going with the Broncos on that one. And then maybe one of the worst Monday night matches we might have all year. The Colts and the Titans.
It would have been ass kicking until Mariota went down.
Yeah.
Now it's
Yeah.
like a battle of the shit shows.
Yeah, I mean the game itself might actually be entertaining, but it's kind of like last week's game. Like just no one's gonna care. I'll take the Titans just because I think the Colts are shit. But
I'll take the Titans because DeMarco Murray is there and he might get 15 yards.
I'll take the Colts just because you guys picked the Titans.
okay, how about you?
Yeah, I'll go with the Titans.
All right, cool. Well, then that wraps that up. We may or may not do this again next week because that was an interesting ending to it.
Well, if we actually just like kept
Keep a
track,
track?
yeah, like
I
because
mean, we can.
We
Like, I
should
mean,
find somebody that can be like the group administrator that keeps track of shit like this.
yeah, we can. I've just always known to do this at the end of the shows because what we've been doing. But I mean, we picked a great time to talk about it right in the middle of episode 49. It was pretty cool.
fuck the 49ers,
Those fags in San Francisco.
fags in San Francisco.
So that's gonna be a wrap.
All right, guys. Thank you all very much for tuning in. We'll see you for episode 50 next week, same time, same place.
Dude, if you had to be a fan of one or the other, Bobo, would you rather be a Cowboy fan or a Niner fan? Like you had to be one fan of the other. I was thinking about this.
49ers.
You'd rather be a
The
49er
Cowboy
fan?
fans are just. I could deal with being. If I had Joe in my corner, in my fan base,
Yeah.
and then went up against all those obnoxious Cowboy people, that could probably be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I think I would enjoy that.
I think I'd be a Cowboy fan. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't be a Niner fan.
And then a week later, a Niners fan. That's just how you do it, CJ.
Nah, man.
he'd have to date a girl from San Francisco first.
That would never happen.
Yeah.
That would never
I like
happen.
those
Or a dude
girls
from
that
San
have
Francisco.
2 college teams because their boyfriends.
Now,
they're
a
the other,
moment
and they wear both
just
hats
for
and
the
they're-
ladies.
Hey, but it's okay because I'm a girl and I can wear a Mississippi State hat and an Auburn shirt. This is
See,
my
that just
boyfriend's
doesn't make
team.
sense.
Yeah, I actually worked with a girl like that.
Yeah, you gotta. I think about
She
that.
broke up with a dude and literally switched teams the next day because the other dude was a fan of the other team.
One of my managers at O'Charlie's
Auburn
went
for
from being an
4
Alabama fan
years,
to
and all of a
Auburn.
sudden now you're Mississippi
Because of
State
guys'
in like a day.
Yeah.
It's just insane to me.
I keep always playing with like fidgets every. All right, so that's a wrap. We'll see you guys next
Why
week for
is
episode
that?
50.
Why are women will literally follow a team because of a boyfriend and switch teams and they break up with them? That's pathetic. Don't
CJ's
do
a
that.
woman.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I
It,
am.
it is bad. I like I said, one of my managers at O'Charlie, she went from
Don't
like
be a
Alabama
fan
to
at
Auburn.
all.
I used to like LSU until I dated Elena, and then once we broke up, I was like, "Fuck LSU."
And this proves our point.
Yeah.
This proves our point. He's just taking it off. He just turns it off. Wow, guys, great show.
Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time for the Underground Pub Show, right here on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network.
Hold it! What the hell is that shit?